Hello, sports enthusiasts, fans, and pundits. Welcome to SOUQ Sports. Of course, in the next 30 minutes, I'll be bringing you up to speed with what has happened in the international scene because, of course, we've had the international break and a lot of games have been played across the globe. We'll start off from the local scene and work our way outside to, the various continents that we can, find our way around on the map. Welcome to the show once again. My name is Tici Barrah. I am the top cat right here. And I do have the man, the freshest, the finest, the usual suspect, the most eligible of them all, Charlie Montero.
I like the way you say it, but then I'm not eligible yet. I'm still working my way through this.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Charlie Montero here, and it's a beautiful Wednesday. Like I always say, it's always a pleasure to be here, and it's a delight to be here.
Well, introducing the brownest of them all, but is always dressed in black. And of course, a suspect for, when a fashionista of that. And I like the way he mixes his colors, but it's just that everything he wears, he tends to always have a touch of black in it. Welcome to the fold. You've been online contributing, but then it's good to put a face to the name Brown.
Here we go. But yeah, it's an amazing time, coming here once again to be part of this particular program. But then let's just roll and see how it goes. It's nice to be here.
Great feeling. All right, I'm ecstatic myself, but then not as ecstatic as a lot of Nigerians would have been if the Super Eagles had defeated the Amavubis of Rwanda. Well, the spoiler for that particular game, I'm sure a lot of people will be pointing fingers to that cancelled goal where Ademola Lookman again was unsung and found the back of the net, and the center referee decided to point, to the offside position. Yeah, and everyone was left in utter disappointment, open-mouthed state of stupefaction. I can't find the words to describe how, it was watching that particular game. But then what do you make out of the game, Charlie?
Well, I would say it's to bad refereeing, or I'll owe it to bad refereeing. Because the first half I had a lot of wrong calls, had a lot of fouls called, and I was left in awe, like this is not meant to be. But the second half we saw him made corrections to his errors, and he allowed the game flow more. He allowed the game go as it should. And to the disallowed goal, I don't know. We need to look into it. But then I think it has gone and it is past now. But it's just unfortunate to see that Ademola Lookman right on the score sheet again, but denied because of wrong refereeing decisions. But all in all, we played well. But it's a big contrast as to what we saw against the Benins.
The cheaters. I know you have a confusion whether it's square or cheaters.
we call them the cheaters, yeah. And we would say that the boys really played their hearts out from the beginning to the end. They gave their all. Chukwueze again, running riots, showing what he can do and what he's made of. But it's just unfortunate that we didn't get the result that we wanted.
So, Brown, let me throw you into the mix, but then from the angle of the clamor for VAR now.
Yeah.
What do you make out of that? If you had to juxtapose that with the outcome of the game.
It's quite unfortunate that it should have been there. I think one of the reasons why we supposed to have VAR in some kind of scenarios like this for us to have an in-depth review of what happened in the game. I can't remember in La Liga one time against Barcelona where we have a goal line technology. We don't have a goal line technology. So I think if the VAR was being placed, something like that would have happened. We would have seen a clearer review of what happened, whether it was an offside or not. But then I would say kudos to the Super Eagles. I think one, if you know me very well, know that I'm not really a 100% fan of how the Super Eagles play. But surprisingly, they put up a fight. First match, 3-0, Ademola Lookman, and the Ademola Lookman scoring twice in the game seems to be like
twice.
Yeah, I think
the first game.
Okay, first game. Yeah,
scored twice. Then Victor Osimhen. But I would say that one of the things I picked out in the game of the Super Eagles, 2 games, is the fact that there's not much dependence on the I'm talking about Victor Osimhen.
Yeah. Even Boniface Victor, the other Victor, the lesser popular Victor, came to buy you.
So the side games and everything, Chukwueze is stepping up his game. And then Lookman, who congratulations once again, being in the Ballon d'Or. It's something like we should watch about in Nigerian football. So I would say good game, Super Eagles. Yes, the second game, it did not end the way we wanted it to end. We wanted to win.
Mhm.
I mean,
Even
going-
one goal,
Yeah, going into
even
the
a scrap or something.
a 6 point would have been bad. But yes, we set it up for the 4 points. Then all we have to do is just to correct things. Yes, during the time of Osimhen and Finidi George, all those scrambles happen.
Okay, now, so let me just hold you right there because, we have a lot of time now. Austin Eguavoen has been able to bring some stability to the Nigerian national team with Osimhen getting back into the fold, settling in Galatasaray, scoring that goal seemed to have just been the icing on the cake. And then Finidi also coming out to say he has left it for God, that he had also reached out to Osimhen. But then, I mean, it's let bygones be bygones and don't bygone. Let's see if we can move past what it was and if we can have a solid Super Eagles team that we can depend on. But then for you guys, I mean, go at it. Do you think we have some stability in the team at the moment?
Well, I would say I won't judge these 2 games.
So you want to see some more?
Yeah, I have to say some more because I've figured out one thing about the Super Eagles: lack of consistency. Now, if they can be consistent, we still have the World Cup qualifier, which we are not even sure that we can make it to the World Cup. But then, if you can have a consistent Super Eagles, a consistent style of play, a consistent style of coaching and everything. I mean, in the space of how many months, we have how many coaches now? So, I mean, that's not.
And okay, let me get it from you, Charlie. The fluke where we had the German tactician.
Yeah.
They said all arrangement made, announcement was made, and the man said he didn't even reach an agreement. I mean, how did we get to that point that I don't know if I'll say we were rejected or something as a team?
Well, I would say Nigeria is over relying on international, or will I say the white head coach. We have potentials, or we have good coaches that we can rely on here.
Should we continue with Eguavoen?
We should, but I can't still say
You
that
disagree?
he does, because I can't still see a style of play that the Super
So
Eagles have
an
been able to
Eguavoen
establish.
with Daniel Ogumodede and a Fidelis Ilitru,
Yeah.
did that work?
4 points out of 6, yes.
Yeah, okay, and 2 matches. We won't just use 2 matches to judge. We say, okay, it worked. Maybe
But can we look at the statistics?
let's just leave it as an interim basis, not
Okay.
rushing to give them.
But I would say if we look at it based on statistics, it's working. It should work.
But I think that the problem of the Super Eagles is not from the coaches. I think it's beyond coaching. I think it's something that has to do with an insider because I mean we have Joseph Pesero, who to me he was doing well. He was doing well, but all of a sudden they couldn't renew his contract.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think there are a lot of issues that maybe have not come to limelight. I would say that maybe it's still going through the corners. That we are not yet to see the particular reason that the Super Eagles are not really good. Because for me, I think they have one of the most formidable squad in Africa.
Yeah, in Africa they
So
do.
one of the most formidable squad in Africa, and I will not say that it's 100% coaching problem. I think they should have the whole.
You'd say administrative problem as well, because when
Yes,
you say the NFF, they want a coach they can control. They want someone that they can control and say, this is what we want you to do. And I feel that's the problem. They should give the power, the sole power to those that know what is going on. Let the coach run this. Let the manager run this team. Select players that he wants to select that feel like they can, express what he has on his mind. Players that can bring his ideas to life, if I'm to say. So I feel they should give him full control over the squad, over what is happening in and around the squad. So that's where I feel we can improve on.
Well, Austin Eguavoen has dismissed reports that he resigned after Nigeria's match with Rwanda on Tuesday. And of course, that is upon arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and noted, insisting that his statement was taken out of context. Well, he said that he had an interim contract, which he signed with the NFF, which was to lead the Super Eagles in the Benin Republic and Rwanda qualifying matches at the 2025 African Cup of Nations Cup qualifiers. Of course, qualifiers twice there, so you can understand. We're hoping that lightning will strike twice, but that wasn't the case. And we had Eguavoen explaining that he's still very much in charge of the team and said it was unfortunate that something that's not correct and situation that's not correct was put out there. Just before we take a moment, Nigeria former international Victor Moses has made an unexpected return to the English footballing scene, signing with recently relegated side Luton Town. I rooted for Luton Town last season. Brown, you will bear me witness. True or false?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Victor Moses is currently 33 years old. He was a free agent, and that was after his time out at Spartak Moscow. He's officially signed a deal with the championship side, and that's much to the delight of fans. We'll take a moment now, and when we return, we'll take a look at all of the other games that happened. Well, we just speak a little bit from here and there, the rest of the world, and bring you up to speed with it right here on the show. Stay tuned. Well, glad to know you're still tuned in to SOUQ Sports. Glad to have you on the other end of the screen watching. Of course, Brazil suffered their defeat in 5 qualifying games with a 1-0 loss to Paraguay, as Argentina were beaten 2-1 by Colombia in the latest qualifying matches for the 2026 World Cup. Inter Milan's Diego Gomez scored the winner for Paraguay in Asunción after 20 minutes as Brazil failed to register a shot on target in the first half. Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson, Newcastle midfielder Bruno Guimaraes, and Western playmaker Lucas Paqueta all started for the Samba Boys of Brazil, with the Real Madrid trio of Rodrigo, Endrick, and Vinicius Jr. in attack. And it's surprising that we're unable to pull the goods. Are you shocked? Is there a decline with the Brazilian team?
There is. I mean, it's
But then these guys are doing well individually.
It's more evident than ever right now that the Brazilian team has lost its flair. And it's just embarrassing to watch that.
Embarrassing.
Very much embarrassing that they
Paraguay is not a pushover. South American side also
to be able to register a single shot in the whole of 45 minutes is embarrassing. I mean, you have the likes of Endrick, Vinicius, and Rodrigo, and you still cannot make something out of it.
Did they complete passes?
Yeah, they did. At least they did.
Well, losing to Paraguay wasn't embarrassing, but the fact that they were not able to register one shot on target was embarrassing. But I think this brings me back to what Nema said, that he is not watching the Brazilian games anymore because of the fact that they have been kind of inconsistent, and it's just a show of stars without being able to put the ball in the. For me, I think he's kind of overhyped. We have Vinicius, Rodrigo, a lot of them. I think the Brazilian squad, they have complete squad for them to lose to Paraguay and not being able to register one shot of target. But unfortunately, I was disappointed. I mean, I was hoping for them to, get themselves a score, even if they lose. Let there be
There's some goals scored.
At least there's this thing that happens that maybe you played very well, but unfortunately you couldn't score. You had a lot
That's
of
the sentiment we have about Nigeria.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that they played well, but they couldn't score.
All right. Well, someone who has been in the game and has played well and has put his name out there regularly and consistently is Tottenham boss Mauricio Pochettino, a former Tottenham and former Chelsea boss. But then he's had a break in transmission at some point. Well, he has been named the new manager of the United States men's team. He used to be a German, Jürgen Klinsmann.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah? Well, the Argentine replaces Greg Berhalter, who was sacked in July following the US's group stage elimination from the Copa America. And that announcement came before the US drew 1-1 with New Zealand in an international friendly game in Cincinnati. 52 years of age, he says it's an opportunity that he could not pass on. Let's move on and let you know that Manchester City defender Nathan Ake was taken off in a stretcher during Netherlands' Nations League draw with Germany in Amsterdam. Ake was carried off on the stroke of halftime after picking up what appeared to be a hamstring injury, well, to the detriment of his club side. The 29-year-old made his very first Premier League appearance of the season for Pep Guardiola's side in the 3-1 win against West Ham, and that was just before the international break, and it feels like he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. We're not very certain, because Northern Board said further tests will be carried out to understand the situation of things before an assessment would be made. Now let's talk about the negative impact of international games on clubs. Little wonder they refused to let their players go.
Even some players had to withdraw. I mean, I can remember, back at Stamford Bridge, some Chelsea players they withdrew from the international games. The likes of Kopama, what's his name again? The one from Leicester that came to Chelsea. I'm trying to, remember his name. not Bruce Bihor, the defender, Wesley Fofana, and some of them, declined that they are not going to the international. I think this is one of the reasons because the season is just starting.
Yeah.
And no team will want to be having these, players having,
Setbacks.
injured. And luckily for Guardiola, he has substitute. He has some people that can fit into that particular role. So imagine a club that does not have much. And
Speaking of Arsenal, they do not have, and they've lost Odegaard. They've lost. Rice is not going to be eligible for. Calafiori is injured as well. So you see that they are losing their key
I think
players.
this is where the test is coming.
This is where the test for the Arsenal boss is going to come in because he doesn't have replacements for them.
Yeah.
So when you talk about in-depth in squad, they don't have it. We can make a laugh about Chelsea having 41 players. They don't care now because they
There are options.
There are
to it.
options to go by, and
But then, is it good to be the one or the option?
Well, it depends on
it's good to be in the squad. It's good to be able to play. It's good to have an
Some persons
opportunity.
hate the fact that Chelsea lost out on
Osimhen.
Victor Osimhen. But then these are the kind of players you would expect a top team like Arsenal or PSG to look forward to have those,
I
options.
don't think any club is to be blamed because the wage. I mean, Chelsea, they are trying to balance their wage. They are trying to balance it, and the salary Victor Osimhen wanting to collect from Chelsea is if Malo Gusto and the likes. I think 3 players collect at the same time. So I think 300 something. And if you combine the likes of Joe Felix, Malo Gusto, and some other player, it's just their salary. So I mean, trying to balance up everything, you will not expect Chelsea to
Just give up all of those or
But is it worth it?
That's not
Is Osimhen worth it?
Are you going to guarantee Chelsea? You are not Haaland. Are you going to? Much respect to Osimhen. Are you going to guarantee Chelsea a back-to-back hat-trick every time? Are you going to guarantee Chelsea 30 something goals or 25 goals every season? I mean, I don't think Osimhen can. Much respect to him. I mean, I love his style of play.
Osimhen can.
he can match Haaland?
He can match Haaland.
sure?
The only reason why let's leave sentiment and club rivalry aside. The only reason Haaland is able to make this
Side
number,
by side, guys. Osimhen and Haaland.
you pick Haaland because of what he has been
Can
able to achieve.
Osimhen match Haaland?
If he has the kind of players around him that Haaland does, he will match Haaland. He
Do
will
Do you
match Haaland.
disagree?
I disagree.
Alright.
Like I said, much respect to Osimhen. I really value him as a
Have you
striker.
really taken time to watch Osimhen's play?
He's
Napoli?
playing very well.
The first season in Napoli, you see someone that is hungry with limited resources.
How many years did that hunger last?
He's still hungry. I just feel like he fell out of favor with Conte because of the controversies, owing to his transfers and everything. Conte doesn't like that. He likes his traditional.
Final words on this.
I'll still pick Haaland over Osimhen. It's not like I don't like the Osimhen. He's good, but when it comes to formidable strikers, deadly strikers in the front of goal, I don't think Osimhen.
Okay. All right. Let's not belittle our own. Definitely, would try to celebrate and encourage that he continues to do well. I don't think we want to have a Messi Ronaldo argument. WBO cruiserweight champion Chris Belam Smith will take on WBA champion Roberto Ramirez in what has been described as a unification bout, and that's going to go down in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The question is why. 16th of November has been the date slated. It will be Belam Smith's third defense of his title, and of course the Britain is having a forced stoppage against Martyrs. That's going to be in December, followed by points of victory over Reach Out and all. Ramirez became the first Mexican to win a cruiserweight title when he defeated Arsene Gulmarin for the WBA belt in March. Well, the reason why that is going to Saudi Arabia, could it be because of the money?
It has to be because of the money. What has any athlete gone to Saudi Arabia to do other than for the money?
Honestly, if I'm just honestly, that's just because of the money. I mean, that's where the bills come. That's Osimhen would have gone.
Don't bring Osimhen into this again.
So, I mean,
Do you have a problem with Osimhen?
I don't have a problem with
Using him for the first time, but he seemed to release Osimhen out of the situation.
when Saudi calls, look at what's his name from I think what's his name? The one that almost went to Chelsea, the most striker. When Saudi calls, it's a very, very tempting call. I mean, to
Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney. Yeah, when Saudi calls you, it's very, very tempting, regardless of the likes of Rwanda went to Saudi. I mean, who are you?
You cannot compare him to say Ivan Toney or
Who doesn't anybody?
I mean, he has achieved
Who's that?
everything. Ronaldo.
Okay, so it's like a retirement.
If Ronaldo has achieved anything, he would have relaxed. He has achieved everything, but then he still went to Saudi.
Because there's
And he's
money,
banging goals.
there's money to be made. How many
Okay,
how many children does Ronaldo have?
Okay, yeah, gradually coming to my point now.
That-
What did you say? There's
You can't put it in country. You can't put it in.
And for you to make this money, you need to be a top performer.
Exactly, and you can't even put it with the likes of Ivan Toney. What has Ivan Toney achieved? How many Premier Leagues has he won? How many championship trophies has he to his belt? How many FA Cup has he to
That
his
still
belt?
brings me to that particular because
All right, so the governor is here, and I might just be handing over someone to him for some disciplinary action. But then let me let you know that that's just a rumor. Brazilian winger Anthony, who is 24, is reluctant to have Manchester United despite interest from Fenerbahce. We hear that Turkish Super League clubs Istanbul, Başakşehir, Fenerbahce, Besiktas have given up trying to sign Kerem Trippier after Newcastle made it clear that they want to keep the former England defender. We also hear that Aston Villa, Joan Duran, they've rated him so highly, and that's because they want to reject offers. 40 of those offers for the 20-year-old Colombian striker over the summer. Manchester United monitoring Sevilla's 21-year-old right back Sanchez, and we hear that Real Madrid are also interested in the same player. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe, sporting director Paul Mitchell have resolved the differences, and now they're focusing on the January transfer targets. And of course, when you have two people arguing like brown and what's the black and white, brown and what? Yellow. I mean, I need to give you something that has a color name, but Brown and Charles have been going ahead. What do you think about when management personnel, have that disagreement and the effect it has on the club and the player in general?
Well, I feel the coach knows what he wants. The manager knows the caliber of players that he wants, and the players that can fit into his playing style. And if that does not correlates with what the technical director wants, because the technical director will obviously be looking at salary, be looking at their pockets, looking at what can this player bring to the team at the moment. Will he bring financial aid? Will he come with exposure? Will he come with the media, and what benefits does this player bring aside just playing the pitch? What goal returns will he bring? But then the manager knows what. I feel like the manager knows best, because he's the one that is working with these players directly, week in, week out. He knows the loopholes in his teams and what he needs to bring in to fill in that position. So I feel like now that they have come to an agreement, it's good for them and it's good for Newcastle, because they are languishing. They are languishing at the moment, so they need all the help that they can get.
All right, just before we wrap things up with sports business, let's talk about the MPFL. I'm particularly interested because, we've reiterated on this platform over and over again that we're going to be pushing out the local scene. So the weekend concluded with surprise losses and all that. At this point in time, do you think it's too early to start saying what teams you're going to be looking at for, what teams have surprised you, what teams you think will be making any impressions or impact in the league, Brown?
Well, I think this is just the first game. Yeah, we had second game. We had 3 away wins, and I would say the league has started.
Yeah.
If you lose a match, now you're not going to have that match again.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you have to start taking, in as much as I cannot, decide on who I'm going to say, okay.
Well, we talked about Ikorodu United and how we're reaching for them, but they went to Kano Pillars on the same Misigida side, thumped them 3-0 or something. It was.
Should that count? That's more like a welcome package, like I said.
Yeah.
More like a welcome package. They should learn from it.
So,
But they still have another away game against Kwara.
At least now they'll have an experience what it means to travel long distances and play away. So they'll be able to apply those wisdom or apply what they have learned into this match. I mean, Kwara is not far, so they will have time to stretch their legs and really acclimate to their weather and
no matter how you see it, it's always a different ballgame when you come from the championship to the Premier League. Even if you have beaten any club in the championship, maybe through FA Cup, and it's always preseason. It's always a different ballgame.
Yeah, we talked about that.
When you just come into the men's season, the men league, you see that nobody really comes to play. Everybody is serious with everything.
And that's when Haaland will wake up and score hat-trick.
Crazy. I know you. Okay, so particularly my eyes is going to be on the manager, the very young manager of Aimba, Ramaju, who used to be an assistant to Finidi, and he's been given the opportunity to take over the reins. He started off by beating a grandfather in the game, and that is Emmanuel Amnike. Despite the fact that Hatland, had scored first, Aimba were able to get back into the game, restore parity, and pick up maximum 3 points from that particular game. So Emmanuel Amnike making it into the MPFL with the return of Heartland, taking the sport of Beyond Limits. A lot of politicking, but then it's good to have the Owerri-based team back in the MPFL. Let's see what they're going to, do with this second chance which they have gotten from Nigeria's Premier Football League games. The sports business, at least 5 top-tier sports marketing agencies are vying for a chance to sell UEFA Champions League commercial rights from 2027 to 2028 onward after the deadline for bids passed this morning. Digital technology from Cisco expanding its agreement with the National Football League, the NFL, which is what you call American football, right? Yes, includes international rights and all of that. MediaPro registered a profit of 12 million euros, which is about $13.3 million in 2023, as revenues rose narrowly to 1.2 billion euros, but remained well, So just to tell you some of the monies that are going on. The league is just resuming. Some of the transfers that we're going to be seeing might be towards January. Big money moves would have ended because of the transfer deadline day that has exceeded in the MPL and all that. But hopefully the other leagues will resume and we can be back here to talk about the games after the international break. To be done. But then any final words from you guys so we wrap things up here?
Oh, it was a great show from the international break. I mean, stars were given opportunities to shine, and we look forward to the regular club games coming up this weekend. And I hope that you get your betting tickets right.
You don't go throwing out tissues and cutting halfway. Brown.
Well, I can't wait for the EPL and every league to come back. Is 1 week, the weekend break is just like a month for me. I mean, I can't wait for us to come back. And the banter and everything about football, it just gives me the whole joy. So, I mean, it's amazing to be back here again and, to continue to do this when it comes to football and the world of sports.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I did have Brown Bethel on the show with me and Charlie Montero. I know that's the way he likes to call himself. My name is Tici Barrah. I'm the top cat. Many thanks to everyone who has ensured that you can receive us crisp, loud, and clear. You guys rock. And until we come your way, keep the engagement on our social media platform, SOUQ News TV. And of course, once again, congratulations to those who correctly predicted the score lines of the game between Nigeria and Rwanda. It's something that we are going to continue. Urgent TK is live right here on SOUQ News Television. Have yourself a great day and bye for now.